It was a good surprise because I was pretty free in terms of casting. The studio didn't want to say you have to hire this guy. Never. They respect me.
There was a last-minute thing. From what I heard, Jean-Pierre, who's the director, had seen pretty much everybody else in town. He didn't want to see me, and Rick Brigano sneaked me in there.
We're at the bottom of the ship. We have to go through the kitchen maybe 90 feet to the freight elevator shaft at the other side.
And they were just like a week, 2 weeks before they were going to start shooting. And it sort of fell into my lap, yeah.
So first of all, you have the meeting, have an audition, a screen test like this, camera set up in a room similar to this. You read through. He directs you. You can tell that he is responding to you. And then at the end of the meeting, he says, "Do you know how to swim?" So that's a good sign, I think.
My own recipe.
I had worked with Jean-Pierre on City of Lost Children, and you know, he fought for me for the role of John from the moment he got hired.
I know the guy by heart. I remember for the city I tried to do some rehearsal, and I brought Ron Perlman in Normandy, in my house in Normandy, to rehearse. And in fact, we played pool all the night. And in LA, we played pool too.
My personal experience, I mean, this was a walk in the park compared to City of Lost Children, because that was a picture where I was the only non-Frenchman on the set. I mean, I was the only that was a French film made in France, in Paris, with an entirely French production crew, staff, and I mean, I was really the odd man out. I was the one that was getting looked at like, what's his problem?
Earthman. What a shithole.
I think part of the reason why Jean-Pierre might have wanted me around was because this was going to be his first fish out of water experience. He had made all his movies, you know, where he was cocooned and nurtured and felt very comfortable. And here he was coming to the United States to, you know, not only work in a foreign kind of an environment, but on a big, big studio film, which was part of a franchise, a kind of a storied franchise, and had an iconic kind of a permutation to it. So I think he wanted to be surrounded by as many people as he was comfortable with as possible.
Dominic Pinault plays in all my films, and he's going to play in the next one. And for me, that's the perfect actor. He's so inventive, so nice, so perfect.
I think Jean-Pierre wanted me to be part of that show, and he was going to ask the Fox to hire me.
Alien, it was amazing for me to bring this actor in States, because Sigourney Weaver and the studio asked me to have Dominic Pinault.
Jean-Pierre told me the Fox already thought of me for the part.
When I told to Dominic, they want to work with you, he didn't believe me. He said, "Oh, it's a joke, believe it." And at the end, he is in the film. It's marvelous. Winona Ryder, everything was so easy for her, so easy. I remember one day, the new Alien wasn't finished. And I tried to explain to her the appearance of the new Alien. Winona, I'm going to tell you, he's white, he's tall, big, very impressive, and he's going to make, ooh. And she looked at me and said, "Okay, Jean-Pierre, it's not necessary to explain to me. Tell me just faster or slower. It's necessary, you know."
The expressions, the expressiveness of the newborn, it's one of the most frightening, but yet the feel for this, it's a real character in the movie. You understand it's not an alien, it's like a real character.
And she did a kind of different expressions, and everything was perfect at the editing room. She's so professional, so easy.
As a fan, I really, like, I was trying to steal things constantly. I have, like, alien goo at my house, and of course, you know, I mean, I have, like, action dolls from the alien movies. I'm like a real collector.
Well, you gonna kill me or what?
You know, Sigourney Weaver is the only person working on the 4 Alien. And when I met her for the first time during a walking session, I understood very quickly she knows exactly what she is going to make. And at this time, my job consists to modify the script, to put some new ideas, just to help her.
Because I've actually lived each of these films, the history is sort of inside me. I think the way it must be in her. So I don't try to... I mean, this film was especially interesting because I, in a sense, am a different person, very, very different, completely different, I would say. And there's something about Ripley's nature in this particular film that makes everything a different perspective. How she relates to humans, how she relates to aliens, how she relates to being in space, why she might want to go to Earth. All these things are like brand new.
And it's not just like a paycheck job for her. I mean, she really, like, really cares about the series and really cares about Ripley and how she's portrayed. And she had just stacks and stacks of notebooks that she kept from the first movie for like 20 years. You know, she had these stacks of notebooks, and she, you know, everything had to make sense. Every move that Ripley made, she would, you know, go and make sure that it made sense.
I didn't direct Sigourney, but I modify everything to go on her way. You know what I mean? And she was happy. And me too.
It's about her, and it's about, you know, this woman survivor, you know. People, you know, root for her. And then she's a woman, and a strong woman, and how many strong women characters are out there?
Because that's the thing that makes that this series of films so identifiable, is that female character, that strong female character.
She needed to have a director very close to her, not very far away behind a monitor. She hates that, but very close to the actor. And I remember, I will remember all my life when, after a take, when she looked at me, and just to have a confirmation. And it wasn't necessary to discuss, just one look, and we knew if we had the best take.
There was one scene in the film where she's attached to these handcuffs, and they were specially made, and there's no give in these handcuffs. They're solid metal. And she has to break out of these things. She has to break a chain, steel cord. And every time she did it, she had to come up against it, and there was no padding, there was no anything. And she'd hit the end, and she'd pull it all the way out, and she'd get out. And then they'd yell cut, and then she'd cry. She had to play this superwoman, this invincible. And they'd be ready to roll again, and she'd do it again. And she'd cry. She came off that set that afternoon. Her wrists, you know.
I really got along with all the actors really well. It was really a great feeling of camaraderie, and certainly Sigourney was used to it because she had done that before, but I wasn't used to working with actors on that level where we were all running. It's like you really have to be bonded with everyone, and everyone was just really, really excited to be in the movie. I mean, every actor was like, can you believe that we're in this movie? You know, it was like the big thing on the set.
And it's very cool to be a part of. As an actor, you know, you completely commit to what your character is going through and feeling, and bring to life whatever the writer and director's fantasy may be.
I guess what appealed to me about Getaman was a problem I have in my own life. Being an actor, especially a character actor, is a very insecure life, and you don't always get to do what you want. But I guess the reason why I've held on is that I've come to the realization of how much I really love it. And that's the thing about Getterman that I like, is that he really loves what he does.
No! Get away from me!
It's great because we come up with things, and we get to work as an ensemble a little bit to come up with something and see if it works. Jean-Pierre likes it, then we'll use it. So it's a little bit more creative. It's not set in stone what exactly we're going to do.
Action.
Since we are kind of like this ship that's together as pirates or something, it looks better when you have when we hang out together behind the scenes. It makes it easier when we're in front of the camera to make it look more natural. Me and Ron talk a lot about the first Alien and how Harry Dean Stanton and Yaphet Kotto, how the repertoire they had together. It was cool. It was just like two oil rig guys, you know, and you really believe their relationship to one another, and that they were just doing it for the money, or that they were just working guys, blue collar dudes, you know.
It can get very tense on a picture like that because there's 120 people who are called upon to make every particular moment happen, you know, in a very concerted and coordinated way. And so it was a perfect combination of all the bells and whistles of big-time movie making, along with the most degenerate bunch of actors you've ever seen in one place, you know, who kept cutting through the tension.
We had a lot of fun, and that's what you're afraid of when you're starting a movie. You know, you just don't know how you're going to get along with the others.
We would joke around in between scenes, and you had to be careful you didn't pick up on those intonations when you were actually shooting.
Sometimes we had to be separated. You're going to stand over there now, and you two cannot talk to each other for the rest of the day, okay? Because we're trying to work here, so it was fun, and I've stayed friends with a lot of the guys, which is rare also. Good people.
No, we just had a lot of fun, you know? We just had a lot of fun. I made some good friends on that movie. It was sad when that was over.
It was just like it was really natural and it happened real fast. Everyone just kind of bonded. Because, you know, we started out with the underwater stuff. So we immediately just kind of clung together, you know, and got to know each other real well.